Hey. Ooh, it's Juneteenth. It's Father's Day Eve. So we're going to keep it quick and simple and always delicious. Now, mind you, there's not going to be a whole lot of vegetables involved in this, in the making of this situation. But you can always add vegetables wherever you deem necessary. You can put some spinach in your meatballs. You can add some celery. Celery is a thing. Celery sticks and carrot, baby carrots to this kind of snack platter type situation with some some nice little dip or something to go with it. So there's plenty of ways to add more vegetables if you feel the need, but this is mostly just something to snack on that is tasty and is protein packed. Because a lot of times, you say, oh well, I want to beef up my protein, or I'm starting a new workout plan and I don't really know, how to get more protein into my diet. So you can definitely start with how you snack. I'm actually using, this is grass-fed ground beef. I got this from Imperfect Foods. It's a delivery service. Like they, get all the surplus and all of that stuff for the weird shaped vegetables, and you can have it delivered to your door. And there's plenty of services out like that, and it helps cut down on food waste, because food waste is like super out of hand. And I know at the top of the pandemic that was like one of the big like news headliners. Like there's a meat shortage, there's a this shortage, we have to throw out so much food because of it. Well, that's one way to not have to throw away so much food, is to check out one of those services that actually work to cut back on food waste. So right now, let me see if I can get this angle so you can see it. My mom watching that new show, the movie with Kevin Hart, Fatherhood. It looks like it's gonna be good. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd expect it to be good since he's a father, and I'm sure he would want fathers represented in the best light possible. So I'm excited to watch it. So now I'm just mincing up some onions to go into the hamburger meatball, cheeseburger, because I like cheese on my burgers, right? So we're doing cheeseburger meatballs, and these are definitely something that you could use as party snacks. Put some toothpicks in them, and you can serve it for your guests. And like I said, it's beef, so there's a ton of protein, so you don't have to worry about them eating you out of house and home for some snacks. All right. Or if you barbecuing, it'll definitely be a great way to kind of tide everyone over, because I know sometimes they be taking too long with the ribs and the and all the links and stuff on the grill. So this is something that you can do right in the kitchen, real fast in a bowl. So I'm gonna use probably this bowl, because it's a little bloody still. It's beef, so it's bloody, but And then we have our onion. Had to make sure I didn't grab the beef one. So onion soup mix. I don't know if y'all hip to these yet, but this is like the quickest go-to, burger seasoning. And then and I like it because it's got like little, the little onion pieces in it, so it has more of like an oniony flavor to it. And I also have Worcestershire sauce, or if you're trying to get real jazzy with it, I got my Mia's Oh So Good seasoning, your favorite burger. And this is great on burgers, meatloaf, and chopped steak. So you got options, all right? So and then I'm gonna put some of her ranch steak seasoning, because I like this. I actually put this on the, my chicken too, and Worcestershire sauce. That's what give it that pat back. Oh, hot in the kitchen. So I'm just opening the beef, and then the okra is literally just frozen okra. I have it out. I have it thawed a little bit, but I'm not gonna thaw it all the way out before I bread it. I just don't want it completely frozen, because then that'll make it watery on the inside and it won't get crispy. So I have to thaw it out a little bit so I can dry the okra off before I put the coating and stuff on it to fry it up. So I'm not gonna cook my whole pound of ground beef because it's just me and my mom here. But you can definitely do this recipe with a whole pound of ground beef. I'm find another bag for that. But just a half a pound of ground beef. We're gonna need 1 egg. Got the egg. This is gonna keep your meatballs together. Will help with that. And then I got my panko breadcrumbs to go in as well. And the rice.
Yeah, I hate that. Gummy rice.
And now I'm gonna take some breadcrumbs. So this is a fourth of a cup. So if you're doing a whole pound of ground beef, you would probably need the whole. No, this is my half a cup. Is it? Yeah. This one usually stays in the flour, so I don't know. So if you're doing, hey Ty, I see Lord Ty in the building. Yes, welcome. We making cheeseburger meatballs, fried okra, and fried popcorn, chicken bites. Hopefully, because my chicken acting like it's not trying to thaw properly. That's why it's 2 pieces in there. I forgot to put 2 pieces. So remember those big, like the big crazy looking chicken breasts that I got from Aldi? I cut them into strips, into 3-ounce strips, and I wrapped them up in parchment paper. So this is going to be a quarter cup of the panko breadcrumbs, because I'm only doing a half a pound of ground beef. Ooh, excuse me. And then we're going to put in our seasoning. So I got my, favorite burger. Your favorite burger. Smells delicious too. That's how I like season my food. You have to like smell the seasoning, think of how it's gonna taste with what you're making, and go from there. This seasoning is thick, baby. That's what she said. She make her seasoning thick, okay? A little gonna go a long way. And the ranch steak. And I realized, like, they're like, people think like burgers are so simple. They are really simple, but they're very easy to mess up. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. So the most important part about a burger is seasoning it, but not only just seasoning it, but also the type of meat that you're using. So I don't know if you saw that on the front of the package, but I'm using grass-fed beef. I'm telling y'all, if you don't have, and I'm actually putting my fresh onion pieces in there too, because I want to bite the onion, because that's how I eat my burgers. I like big, juicy burgers with nice, crunchy onions and thick, juicy slices of tomato on there. But instead of putting ketchup in these, I'm gonna put some barbecue sauce. So yeah, it's Hawaiian, because I mean it's the summertime. You want a little daz in your stuff, okay? So the grass-fed beef has a completely different vibe to it. It's a whole another vibe, okay? So I'm definitely mindful of how that changes the flavor of things, and it just makes it better. It makes whatever you season your beef with, like the flavor comes through, because I don't know, it's like you can taste it. Like you don't have, like, I don't know what it is about it's hard to explain, especially if you've never had grass-fed beef. So if you've never had it, please Go and buy you some, try it out. Yes, it is more expensive per pound, but trust me, you're getting what you pay for. So I definitely go ahead and pay that extra, usually it's like an extra 70 to $1.20 per pound for the grass-fed beef, depending on where you're buying it. But it is going to cost more than the 85-90% lean ground beef that will be in those rolls or whatever. It's going to cost more than that because they have to, pay for the acreage that the cows are grazing on and all of that stuff. But it makes a difference, a big difference. So here we go. So this is it in the bowl. It should be wet, because that's how you know they're gonna be juicy. So if it starts out dry, that's how it's gonna end up when you get done cooking them. Okay, especially because I'm putting these in the air fryer. The air fryer evaporates out the moisture on the outside much quicker. So I want to start off with a slightly more moist, I guess you would call this like a meat batter than I normally would because of how I'm cooking it. So you also want to consider the method that you're using to cook these. You could definitely grill them too if that's your preference, because that would give it a whole different flavor. So from the type of meat that you use, how you season it, and how you cook it is going to determine what stuff tastes like. It's a science, okay? It's a science to this. And this is, oh, did I cut y'all off? Can you hear me? So this is all we're gonna do now. So now we just roll them into balls. Oh, my cheese. See, y'all was gonna let me make hamburger balls. I'm trying to make cheeseburgers, meatballs. I ain't put my cheese in there. So this is just shredded sharp cheddar. You can use the pretty much any type of cheese that you want, because that's literally what a cheeseburger is. It doesn't say it has to be this type of cheese. So this is sharp cheddar, and I just kind of eyeballed it, but I did about we're gonna go like a half a cup. So about a half a cup for a half a pound. All right, and then mix that in. And these can easily be, like I said, changed up however you want. You can add diced green bell peppers to it. You can add jalapeno peppers. I know you can have jalapeno burger before. We grilling? No, we're not grilling today. No, like I said, this is gonna be a quick in and out. So I'm putting it together for you, and you can decide how you want to cook it. All right. So now we got everything mixed in, okay? The cheese is not forgotten. And then we're going to, and oh, here we go. And like I said, the mini meatballs are better as like party snacks. You put toothpicks and stuff in them, and they'll go further. Or you can do regular size meatballs, and you can also turn these into like a cheeseburger meatball wrap by getting you some lettuce leaves and making a lettuce wrap out of them, because they're already cheesed off. I left my pickles out. See, I knew I was forgetting, so I was like, nah, I feel like, but I'm not gonna put them in all of them because I know my mama's not gonna want to try and chew on that. So I'm gonna put them in some of them. So I already got like a couple of meatballs made, so I'll leave those for her. And then the rest of them, I know I want pickles in mine, so I'm gonna just go back and add the pickles to the mix for my meatballs. So. And then let me see, cause I'm gonna try and angle it down more, so my phone kind of blocks it from bending how it needs to. Let me see if I can turn this landscape and make it bend. Make it bend, not break. Okay. It's funny because earlier I saw on Facebook how people, well not people, but it's a lot of dads. It's like, man, that was another holiday. It's another something, another excuse for people to not give Father's Day the attention that it deserves or that we deserve. And sirs, good, kind, loving sirs. Uh, it is y'all's responsibility to make Father's Day important. You know why Mother's Day is important? Because let you not get your mama something, what's going to happen? Right? Let you not call your mama and wish her happy Mother's Day. Let you not, right, exactly. It's going to be consequences and repercussions. So mama's made sure that Mother's Day is important, is commercialized, is talked about, is celebrated, is anticipated. So y'all got to have just as much excitement about y'all being your fathers as people are excited about y'all being their fathers. And when you demand and command and expect that type of recognition, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Especially if you're a good father and you're doing the work, trust me, you're going to get it. If somebody is not appreciating you, then tell them, I don't feel appreciated. Tell them I said. Tell them that I said that I need to tell you that I don't feel appreciated. As a man, as a father, as whatever. Okay? Tell them I said. I'm trying to find out we get the big. So all I did was just, and these are actually, okay, so this is my makeshift container. So this is leftover from the coleslaw my mom would be buying from the grocery store. And all I did was cut cucumbers into slices, and I made my own pickles. So it's just vinegar and some seasoning, some pickling spice that you can pick up right in the seasoning section. It is McCormick, because that's them the only people I fool with other than Mia. So Mia, you know you special, because if it ain't McCormick, I ain't buying it. And you got me hooked, baby girl, all right? But you leave them in the refrigerator. Like, you just leave them in the vinegar for like a couple of hours, and they're actually ready after about an hour or so. But the longer you ferment them, the more like pickles is going to taste like. And you can season it however you want to. That's I know you think the dill pickles in the packet, because pickles actually aren't dill. Dill is a seasoning, it's a herb. So if you get a dill pickle, that means it's been soaked in vinegar that has dill weed, which is an herb, in the vinegar, and that gives the pickle the dill flavoring. So you can definitely make your own pickles with no type of like real effort. So all you're doing is just kind of, skipping the convenience of buying it already jarred and fermented. So I'm just finishing up adding the pickles to my meatballs, my hamburgers. Okay. So out of a half a pound of ground beef, I was able to get like 8 nice sized meatballs. So once I finish rolling them up, I'm gonna show y'all. And that is actually a ton of protein in itself. So like that's pretty much a meal in itself. Wrap it in some lettuce, and boom, you got a full meal. Have you a little smoothie shake, a little smoothie or something on the side. Yep. Oh, wait, that was a bit. Add some to the other one. Okay. And so this, let me wipe my hands. The hamburger meatball juice everywhere. All right. So these are the meatballs, and then I'm gonna pop them in the air fryer, and they're gonna start cooking while I get everything else together, and stuff just gonna start coming out in waves. So because I have several racks in my air fryer, I'm gonna put my meatballs on the bottom, because their meat, and they leak meat, fat, and all of that stuff, and I don't want that ruining my okra or my chicken. So the okra is going to go on the top right, and that's if my meatballs don't come out before I get all that other stuff in here. And then now we're going to get it with the light and turn it on. Okay. So I have it set on 380, but you're going to want to have to just know how your air fryer or your oven works. So whatever you normally cook with, that's going to determine the temperature. But for the most part, if you're doing it in an oven, it'll be about the same temperature, like around 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you check it. You can either poke it with a fork or cut it open a little bit to make sure it's cooked through, but you don't want it dry. So definitely do that check to make sure you're not drying out your burger. Your burger meat. What happened? Yeah, it's toasty in here. This is my okra. Let me back on. Pop this. Great. Pickle back. Keep stuff off way. And then I have my egg here. So this is going to be the bowl for my egg wash for my chicken and my okra. So I'm going to do my okra first because I don't want to bathe it in chicken juice. So I'm going to soak the okra first and then bread it and spread it on this rack. And okay, so here, I'm actually going to rinse this because it's still, like I said, it's ice because it's frozen. But because I want my okra crispy, I want to try and get rid of as much moisture as possible. So this is going to be for my egg wash bowl, and in this bowl, I'm going to do the flour and stuff, but first I got to dry off my okra. So I just ran a little bit of water in the bag to help the ice that's on the okra melt. And then I'm going to get me some paper towels here. Line the bowl. Dump my okra in. It's a little slimy because it's okra. Okay. Get my ground beef out there. I found a bag for it. That's going to be good for something else. And so now I'm not pushing it down too hard. I'm just literally patting it to because you see all of that. And imagine you trying to fry it up to get it crispy, and that's what's melting off on the inside of it. So you want to either use fresh okra, or if you're using frozen okra, thaw it a little bit, because thawing it completely out could have you with mushy stuff that's harder to coat in bread and manipulate and stuff like that. So yeah, the meatballs are already starting to look kind of good on the outside. Let me show y'all how it looks. So it's already starting to kind of brown up a little bit, but you'll know when they ready. Okay, right. So that should be good enough for that. And then I need my fork to make egg wash, and I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in it, because when the flour hits it, it's gonna make the flour on the okra and the chicken fluff out and be crispier and get a little crispy bite when you use an egg and milk wash instead of just plain egg. I had noticed that because there was a couple of recipes I was looking at that would say like use an egg wash with some milk, and I was like, why would they put milk in it? And then I noticed the difference when I did do it like that, because at first I was just using just egg for the egg wash, but this definitely makes it better. So now I'm just putting them all in there and letting them soak it in. Okay, so and then we're gonna scoop it into our flour, which I'm going to season. And for this, because I know sometimes, like, you know, you want to lightly season it, but for this, I'm actually going to do a little bit heavier, have a bit of a heavier hand with the seasoning, just because of how I know I like my okra to taste. So you can definitely do it however you normally do it, or however you would do it if you normally fry stuff. However you season your flour, that's exactly how you would season it for your okra. It ain't gotta be nothing special or different. And I'm literally like about to use the same seasons I use in the burger meat. And so I'm gonna put a little bit of this spicy herb thing in there. Okay. Spicy everything, right? And not only do I love the way it smells, because like I said, I cook by smell. So however I season my food, it's got to smell like something I'm going to want to eat and all of that. So I love the way this smells, and it has a nice spice to it. It's not like hot, like, oh my gosh, have your eyes watering and stuff, but it has like a nice little backbite. Like, oh, okay. Oh, you got some on there, all right. And if I want to make stuff a little bit spicier, I'll probably add like a little bit of cayenne pepper or something like that. But that's not usual because I don't really eat a lot of spicy food. So that the level of spice in the spicy herb thing is perfect for me and what I know I can handle. So now, and I need a spoon. I'm using the spoon with the holes in it, and that's how I'm going to scoop it out and put it on my rack. So I have my rack sitting in the sink. This is a hack right here. I actually ended up dumping the little okra pieces that I took out of the thing. So this is actually a hack I like to use. Is I sit my rack in the sink when I'm adding my floured stuff or my battered stuff and all that stuff to it. So that minimizes the mess and the cleanup. So I just clean my sink out. I'll sit my rack in it, and I make sure because I still gotta wash that with soap because it had that heat in it. So I just clean the sink out, and then whatever flour doesn't stay on the stuff I'm cooking, I'm not worried about it because let me flip that over. I'm not worried about it because it's in the sink. Okay. Ooh. That's an egg. It's still dripping. Okay. There we go. And then just take it and cover it. Light cover it. You don't have to like beat the okra up or nothing, because you don't want it to knock the batter off or cake it up on there. And then just give it some shake so the flour falls through the hole, and then lightly set it on your tray. You want to make sure that your okra aren't touching it, especially if you're air frying it and you're not frying it like in grease or grilling it or however else you're cooking. If you're using an air fryer like I'm using, do not let your batter things touch, because the parts that are touching each other will not cook. They will be soft and soggy, and it will ruin your whole crispy experience. So you got to make sure that everything that's getting cooked is exposed to the hot air in order for it to be crispy. That was another lesson I had to learn the hard way because I had tried to do these in the rotisserie basket that they have. Like they have a basket roller that you can like make popcorn and stuff in. And so I was like, oh, okay, well let me try doing that with the okra, and like it turned out okay on the parts of the okra that was out, face outward to where the hot air could reach it, but all the other okra had like literally rolled up in a messy, mushy ball, and it was more like a okra biscuit kind of. It was still good. I definitely did still bang it. It was definitely still a still a good idea, but it wasn't the effect that I was going for. So I want individually crispy little okra pieces. So I'm not gonna use the basket. And okra, oh my gosh, okra is so good. Like okra, since it is Juneteenth, let me hit you with a little bit of history, okay? And I actually learned this from a Netflix special called what is it? High on the Hog. Because I love me some food, so I'm gonna watch me a food show, and it's gonna tell me history and all of that, and educate me. Oh yeah, I'm there for it. So okra actually made it on the boat with our ancestors that were taken from Africa. So okra is actually an African indigenous plant, and not only is it indigenous to Africa, but it's great for your digestion. It's great for your immune system. Like getting you some regular okra in your diet. Why do you think like gumbo? Like there's so many different like soul food dishes that include okra. That's why, because it's our stuff. That's our stuff, and that's how we stay healthy, even when we were being fed pork scraps and all this other unhealthy stuff that they thought we weren't going to be able to subsist on or really like enjoy. We found a way to make it enjoyable and also combat the negative effects of eating it. So that's why a lot of dishes tend to include things like okra in it because of its medicinal properties. Because what food is medicine? When you eat what you're supposed to eat, guess what you won't need? These pharmaceuticals. Because the pharmaceuticals are just an imitation of what's already in the food. And our culture, our ancestral culture used to know that, and that's why the traditional dishes that are made the way that they are made, because they're made with the intent of sustaining life, of sustaining a thriving life, because survival was key, and not just like, and I'm not just talking about like as far as like the slave trade. No, I mean like survival in general. Like that's what the human species has always been about, surviving, and we increase those efforts with the more knowledge that we obtain, and we tend to enmesh that knowledge into our local culture. And I would say that that's probably like one of the biggest, I would say, mourning points of mourning that I have, like mostly, especially for like my family, because I didn't know my grandparents. I never met really any of my grandparents, and that's how this information is passed down from generation to generation is, our grandparents, our great grandparents, they're the ones that, that have all of that knowledge, that have the origin, that have our bloodline, our, all of that stuff, our cultural traditions, our family traditions. They're the ones that that solidify that for us, and not having that direct contact can definitely, create a disconnect, and I think that's where a lot of this knowledge kind of like slipped away and slipped through the cracks, after being, torn from, our homeland, after being, separated from family, over generations and generations and all of that, and and then on top of that being bombarded with societal inconsistencies and lies and things like that we really have been put at a disadvantage when it comes to how we eat. And that's why they say, like, if you go to your doctor, they're automatically going to run tests on you for diabetes and high blood pressure, because that's they say, like, oh yeah, if you're Black or African American, then you have a higher chance of it. Why is that though? Why? There's no genetic marker really that says, like, oh yeah, if you have this, they bet on your race because of what we're suspected or known to eat. I have to do better. The egg wash was wetting up the flour. Oh, the meatballs might be done. We gotta check those. We're gonna check them inside. So instead of letting them tell you what type of health you're supposed to have or you might end up having, you're supposed to be telling them what you got going on. Your doctor should know more about you than you do. And that is exactly why I love doing this and why I love doing what I do as my personal business as well, because I want people to personalize their health care, not privatize. Oh, baby, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Oh, yeah, those are done. Those are done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, I wasn't ready. I looked at it, I wasn't ready. Let me take this out. Oh, see, got me singing. I'm singing, oh, spirituals over these meatballs. What? So this is the okra, and we're going to put that in there and let it get itself together. Like I said, make sure they're not touching so that everything cooks evenly and is exposed to the air and gets crispy. So the light makes some crispiness. And turn the temp up. So okra, it's not to actually cook it. So you're really just doing this to cook the batter, the egg and the flour in it. So that actually needs to be at a higher temperature. So if you're you can oven fry these too, if you're not deep frying them with oil and stuff like that, which is I usually recommend against that because it soaks up a ton of oil and increases your calorie intake by a ton for no reason. So I would more than likely suggest spraying it down. Oh, see, I'm glad I said something. I ain't even spray it down. I gotta spray it down, and that's another thing. Another reason why I like setting the trays up in the sink, because I can spray it with the oil and not get that oil everywhere. So I got me some olive oil cooking spray. I think I got some coconut oil up here too for spray. Yeah, it's a coconut avocado blend, so you can use it for higher temperatures. So that's another thing with your oil. You want to make sure you're using the right oil for the temperature that you're cooking at. Otherwise, you could end up with problems. And then with this, you want to make sure that all of the flour part is covered with oil, or you will end up with just dried out flour on your okra. Because I've also done that mistake too. Like, it turned out good, but it was some flour patches. Because I didn't coat it well enough with the oil. Because okra is a vegetable and it doesn't have any oil, so it's obviously not going to make its own oil. And then let me move this out the way so I can cut up my chicken. So like I said, these are already cut into strips, so I'll just be, I'm just rinsing this flour off my cutting board. So I'll just be cutting them into bite sizes and then putting them in the air. So the bite size is probably going to be about like this big, because this was just a piece that ended up in there, but they'll probably be like that big, but not, hanging on a thread of fat and such. And then I'm gonna just drop them straight into the little egg wash so it can soak up the eggy goodness. I got beans and stuff all in the knife. Here, let me see if I can scoop this back some more. Cause I can use the sauce. You can kind of see what I'm doing. This is just the parchment paper that I wrapped the chicken in when I cut them up in slices and froze them. That keeps them from sticking together when I freeze them, and that way I can pull out 1, 2, however many I want that was stored in the same big Ziploc bag without them being frozen together and having to thaw out the whole bag of them, because that can be dangerous to do that as far as food safety is concerned. Like, if you thaw it out, cook everything that you thawed out, or don't freeze it again. Like, you can't freeze it, thaw it, refreeze it, thaw it. Like, you don't want to do that. So that's why that ended up like that. But these are going to be good. And so this is, I'm doing the chicken bites because, especially if you're hosting a party or something like that, you want to make sure you have at least 2 types of protein people to choose from, because beef, being red meat, is obviously not going to be something that everybody is going to be able to eat on as far as like meat is concerned. So the best case scenario, the best thing to do to make sure you're accommodating your guests as much as possible is to have some beef and chicken. Beef and chicken healthy, okay? If they can't eat the beef, somebody's gonna eat the chicken. And if it's vegetarian, I don't know what to tell you. That's what the fried okra for. So it's a little something for everybody, but the okra don't have any protein. That's the only thing. Well, it's got some, I guess, from the egg wash, but you know how that goes. So that was, like I said, just a quick little chop up. You want them cut into pieces, and you don't want to cut them up too small, because especially if you're not like deep frying them, like, because I noticed in the air fryer stuff, it takes not longer to cook. It actually takes less time to cook, for me in my experience. But it will dry it out very quickly if you don't have like the temperature set correctly and all that. So you want to make sure that everything is set up properly, and you don't either dry your chicken out or undercook it. So the pieces are maybe only about a 1/2 inch thick, and like they vary in length. So like this is a good size. So. And it's something that you can put, like I say, you can stick toothpicks in them, and it'd be nice little quick grab snack or something. Or something to tide you over until the real meats get off the grill, okay? Because that'd be the worst, you trying to grill up, and then people lurking and lingering, like, you done yet? Well, let me just get that piece right there, like, or you can just go and get the, so as a good appetizer, this makes for, like, a good, lunch, too. You can put a salad with it and take these bites for lunch. Your hamburger meatballs, you can take those for lunch and have a salad with it. Or, like I say, you can have them just by themselves, and they be a really, tasty, protein-packed snack. And that's actually the key to a good snack is that it having a good amount of protein and a nice amount of healthy fat, because the fat is actually what makes you feel fuller, quicker, and longer, and feel satisfied. That's why a lot of people, they be like, I don't really like eating salads because I don't feel full, because you got to have your fats on there. So that's why people put the nuts and avocado slices and what else to have healthy fat. And even like lean meat. It's lean, but it's not completely, devoid of fat, because there's little fat deposits and stuff all throughout the muscle, because that's how the muscle gets its energy is from the fat. It stores glycogen, but the fat deposits and energy stores within the meat muscle. So you're still getting fat. I don't care how lean that meat is. It's not 100% free of fat. I'm gonna tell you that now. Don't even let nobody set you up for that lie, because that's not even how biology works. But because you're reducing the amount of saturated fat, which is what a lot of animal fat tends to be, then you're sparing your heart and your cholesterol um, the bad levels and things like that, so your doctor won't be on your back and then, tell you gotta cut your meat and all that, and now you're all fat because you really want some meat on your salad but can't. So that's how you do that. You make it a habit to not eat fatty meat, to not deep fry your food, especially meat. Like just don't. And if you deep frying vegetables, like you're kind of ruining the purpose of eating vegetables. Which is why, onion rings is probably like they're delicious. I love onion rings. Definitely my go-to. But yeah, onion rings are, especially deep fried onion rings are a no-no. If you're trying to create and maintain good health, deep fried vegetables, deep fried meat, leave them where they at. I don't care what oil they use, olive oil, coconut oil, all the whatever the healthy oil, whatever healthy oil you can think of, deep fried anything is not going to be healthy, because the meat or the vegetable, whatever it is you're deep frying, is going to soak up all of that grease. Even when it's hot, they say like, yeah, you gotta do it hot so it doesn't. It's still, trust me, it's still soaking it up, and you're still getting a lot more calories and a lot more fat than you bargained for. And then if you're eating like that on a regular basis, that's compounding the effect. Like that's what I call it, the compound effect. Okay, you make one good decision 1,000 times, you're gonna reap those rewards, as opposed to making. And we all know it only takes one bad decision to undo all of those 1,000 good choices. So let's not even get on that slippery slope. All right. This is about as close to unhealthy as I get for like my meals. Like my thing are the snacks and stuff, the cookies and cakes, which is why I started learning how to bake my own stuff. And that way, like even though it is like a ton of carbs and sugar and fats and stuff, I know what's in it. I know it's not chock full of high fructose corn syrup or processed stuff and synthetic stuff and preservatives and all of this other stuff that's going to cause me problems later on down the line and give me cancers, and then have them trying to blame something else that I'm doing because they on an agenda. So now they blaming something else that I'm doing for the cause of my cancer, when really it was just my poor diet and ruining my own immune system and the functioning of my body, and how, because your body, you'd be surprised at how precise and how like accurate your body is. Like the lining of your stomach protects you from so much, and it's a very like thin lining in your intestine that keeps all of the stuff in. You know what's in your intestine, right? You know what's in there. So imagine it being barely a ½ inch thick worth of, like not even that, between all of that bacteria that's in your poop and all that stuff going through there in your blood. That's what's protecting you from all of that, like a very, very thin lining. And your body does it every day, all day. It definitely does it. And if any little bit gets into your bloodstream, you're going to have a problem. The same with your stomach. There's so much that your stomach protects you from that if just a small amount of it got into your blood, you would be like in the hospital, in the ER, on the brink of death, from blood poisoning and stuff, from the stuff that your body is carrying on a regular basis, safely. Now we can grease this chicken up. I'm gonna have to flip them. Okay. I thought I was gonna have to spray the bottom, but it looks like they doing okay. And then we're gonna put this on the bottom rack so that I don't get chicken grease dripping on my okra. And then let me check and see if my okra is getting crispy the way I want it to, so I can go ahead and adjust it how I may or may not need to. We put this in the sink. Let it do it. Yeah, that's good. But it is nice and crispy. I'm going to have to respray the bottom side of this okra though. Because, like I said, with the air fryers, you got to have all parts of the flour covered with some type of oil. So you're going to end up with dry flour on the outside. So the side that has oil on it is nice and crispy. We just got to flip it and spray it. Let me not burn my hands. Whew. Oh no! Almost lost one. Oh, here so y'all can see. And the way this rack is, it has like a little metal bar under it, so the rack part actually isn't touching the sink. So that, like I said, this was actually a very good idea on my part to not end up. This is sticking. So for quick cleanup, this okra smells so good, y'all. Like, you have no idea how good this okra smells to me. So get it unstuck and then spray the dry flour parts that I'm seeing, so I can make sure. There we go. So I can make sure it's all cooking up the way it's supposed to. And usually something like this, I would cook in my little rotisserie basket, but because I'm cooking all of this stuff at the same time for y'all, so we're not on here all day because I'm gonna have to cook it in shifts, because the rotisserie basket takes up the entire air fryer because it has to rotate. So I wouldn't be able to put nothing else in the air fryer with it if I did it that way. So that's why we're doing it like this. So I don't normally have to do all of this. I just put it in the basket and it cooks both sides nice, nice and even. That spray. Let's get back to it. I'm trying not to burn my hand because the rack is still hot. Make it hot. Wow. And then as far as, okay, there we go. So now the chicken is in there, and I'm actually about to eat one of my burgers. So the burger, oh my God, it's juicy and it's soft. So this is my cheeseburger. Oh my goodness, that did it. It tastes just like a cheeseburger without the bun and the lettuce. And that's why I said for these you could definitely do like instead of like a meatball sandwich, like, you know, the big bun with the marinara sauce and stuff, like that's how you would normally see it. You could definitely do these cheeseburger meatballs with some lettuce, with a lettuce wrap. So, you know, or as a lettuce wrap. So you just take a big leaf of lettuce, put a couple of these meatballs down the middle, and then just eat it like that. So you're not adding the extra calories from the bread or the sugar, because a lot of times, like the buns, depending on what type of buns you buy, they have high fructose corn syrup in it, which is essentially poison for your body. So make sure you leave bread alone that has that on there. And also, you know, you cutting back on your carbs and your calorie intake, and you're finding a way to get your vegetables in there. So it's a win-win all. This is so good. It's a win-win all the way around. So we got about, let me put the time back on here, because I just put the chicken in, so that's like another 10 or 15 minutes. But these meatballs were definitely the main event. My okra's almost done. Oh, the okra's gonna be so good with this, y'all. And it's juicy, and you can taste everything that I put. Everything you saw me put in it, you can taste it. My homemade pickles taste delicious and fresh in this. Like, This is very satisfying. And imagine like this being your midday snack. Like somebody be like, I'm gonna have a snack, and you pull out, 2 or 3 of these little meatballs. Wait, I thought you said you was having a snack. This is a snack. Don't hate because you're gonna be hungry after your snack, or you're gonna be throwing your meal plan off after your snack because you went to the vending machine and got chips. Okay. These will also be like a good idea to make for like a picnic or something. Like if y'all want to hit the park real quick, make some of these meatballs, throw them in a bowl, and I think these would even taste good, like not fresh or hot. I could definitely eat this like not microwave, not reheated or none of that. Like we had to just take them and go, like whatever temperature they was at by the time we were able to eat them, I would still eat these because they're really good. And what else? You can definitely do this. Like I said, you can do this recipe on the grill. So without for the chicken, obviously you wouldn't batter it, you wouldn't put flour and stuff on it. So if you want crispy chicken, don't grill it. But okra, I've never had grilled okra, but I've definitely heard of it, and I heard it was delicious. So you can grill this whole thing and have a grilled version as opposed to a crispy version if you really gotta watch your cholesterol, because even though olive oil does have healthier fat, it's still fat. So if you really have to watch your fat intake, like people with PKU, they can't really eat a whole lot of fat because their body just can't process it properly, and it'll increase their urea amount. Anybody with PKU know what's going on, so they know like what they can and can't do. But if you really have to watch your fat, you can definitely grill this entire recipe, and I guarantee you it will still taste delicious. All right. And like I said, okra has a ton of health benefits in it, and I'll drop a image or something to that effect in the Facebook group to why okra is so amazing, and that everything from the motherland is going to be amazing and great for you, especially when you looking like us. All right, okay, when you got some melanated genes, because people get it confused. They think that because you're not brown skin or you're not darker that you can't, like, no, trust me, baby, we got all of that in our DNA, all the way to the blonde hair and blue eyes. We got it all, okay? So, and like that's why I call it the motherland, because you can find some of everything there, and everything that you need, that your body needs, can come from there. So I love that, and I love learning new stuff. So if y'all know any more like facts, tips, Juneteenth tips, Juneteenth facts, a vision for where to go from here, because it's like people, I've seen a lot of posts like, well, they just giving us peanuts and they still ain't gave us a refresh, and they did this for the Jews. That's fine. I don't really care, because it has nothing to do with me or what I'm going to continue to do, which is empower my people, educate my people, uplift my people, support and edify my people. So whatever the government does is not going to change none of what I'm doing, none of how I'm moving. If they turn around and gave every person, every black person in America $1 million, I'm still going to continue to educate my people, empower my people, edify my people. Okay, so that's all I'm concerned about. Well, what's he gonna do now then? Okay, they asked this, but what's he gonna do now? What's he gonna do with it? All right, so don't let people distract you from what's important, and that's you. That's your health. You are important, because the world ain't gonna get another one. We only get one you. So that's why you are important, because we're not getting another one. So take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other. Cherish and value each other the same way God intended for us to be cherished and valued, the same way He cherishes and values us as His unique creation. So that's why I love doing what I do, because I feel like this is my way of adding value to someone's life as being Octavia. All right. So I'm actually not going to hold them to my okra out because they burn though. These look the okra. Okay, the okra is red meat, and my chicken is not quite done. So that's the chicken. It's not. It's really just getting going. But this is the okra. Okay. I don't do extra dark and whatever, but it's nice and golden. So that is done. And I'm not going to hold y'all for the chicken to finish up because this is, like I said, this is just something quick, something to show y'all that, when you entertain, you can definitely throw something together real quick. Have people cash up you $5 or $10 or whatever if you actually want or need help with getting the food items and all of that stuff. But it's definitely a quick make, and this is something that you can definitely do on a larger scale. So the half pound of ground beef that I had made eight eight nice sized meatballs. So if you do a whole pound, you can get 16 of them. So you already give them 16 people one meatball. And I don't know too many people who's entertaining more than 16 people at their house at a time. So you can definitely get away with doing just a pound or two of ground beef and make the meatballs smaller, even like I said, and put them on toothpicks. So it's definitely something that I would. My okra, it's so good. Oh my gosh, and it's hot and fresh. And that because remember I put that spicy everything in the batter. I can taste it. It almost makes them taste like jalapeno, like there's jalapeno. And oh my gosh, yeah. But I hope this helps you out for this holiday season, and something you can throw together for your dad's get together, and it'd be something that that he would enjoy, and that's actually good for him. 'Cause like I said, okra, so many great health benefits, and it goes great with these meatballs on it. And like I said, if they can't do too much red meat, you got the chicken bites. All right, okay. So y'all have a wonderful holiday weekend, and happy Juneteenth, and an absolutely happy Father's Day to all of those fathers out there who are doing the dang thing, okay, raising kings and queens. Even if they didn't come out of your own loins, there are definitely fathers out here being fathers to other people's seed, and that is very commendable, and you are appreciated. So happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth, and y'all enjoy y'all weekend, okay? Rock truth or nothing at all. My uncle. Let me see if Will back to end it. I'm eating okra.